Hello, everybody, to our monthly VBOUT Partners meeting. If you have attended these before, thank you for coming back. We've been doing them on a monthly basis, and the purpose of this call is to share all the latest on our product releases, new features, giving you first access, and even in some cases, we give you free access to add-ons and enhancements that we release. Most of the enhancements will probably be bundled up, but if there's our new features like add-ons or plugins, if they are in beta, the benefit of being on this call is to you might get access to these add-ons at no cost to you. Okay, so if we can share or spread the word with your internal team to attend this meeting, I promise you this will be beneficial. I will go over pretty much product updates, any new releases is our last meeting. I'll also share some resources and content that could be relevant to you as a partner, an agency, or just an end business. And I'll open up the end for some general questions about the products, about what I've discussed, and so on. Okay. First, I would like to welcome everybody who is with us today. Without any particular order, I have Ali, Andre, Blaine, Chaplin, Charles, Dave, Don, Dimitar, E, James, Casey, Larry, Lawrence, Mike, Alderico, and Randy. Thank you so much for joining us. And I'm pretty sure we have some more on the live stream. As usual, everything that we discussed today will be recorded. We'll send out an email with the recording and the content of this presentation. Also, any resources we discussed today, I'll have hyperlinked to those resources within the presentation for your convenience. All right, this will take about half hour, so please grab a glass of water, and let's keep it interactive. So if you have any questions on the things I'm about to discuss, you can interject. George will be assisting me on any questions you might have, whether it be it live stream or whether it be it right here on Zoom. So again, if you have attended before, welcome and thank you. If it's your first time, this is all about the product, the VBOUT product, new releases, how it can benefit you, and what we have planned in the pipeline. All right, quick mic check, George. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. And by the way, Happy New Year to everybody. This year so far shaping up to be very exciting, at least on the marketing side of things. If you missed our digital marketing trends from last time, I think George might have included some links to that to see what's lined up and what to expect this year. So let's get started with product updates. And these are all beta releases. So if you use them and you find any glitches or anything that could be done better or any suggestions, you can circulate them to the support team. I meet with them on a daily basis and weekly basis. So any feedback that you provide, make sure, rest assured, it will be passed on to me, right? So the first feature that we launched based on your suggestion is called import notification. Primarily when you are importing to a specific email list, a contact. So you have a CSV file and you're uploading the CSV into VBOUT, you can choose who to notify to get the final result, because sometimes you might import 100 contacts, 5 of them might have missing emails, duplicates, bad data. So we usually send the report over to an admin. Before it was by default the account owner, but now we allow you to specify who to send that report to. So this is the first very simple enhancement. Obviously, it's open to everybody. But it was based on your feedback. The second release we have is dark mode testing. Now, I don't know about you. I use dark mode. I think it's easier on the eye. The only issue in VBOUT is that we didn't have the ability to test how these emails look in dark mode. So right now, when you're composing an email, whether be it inside the editor or you are on this view, you just got to go to the inbox preview, and right now you see we added and cleaned up a lot of new agents. You can switch dark mode to kind of see what's available in dark mode preview, or you can do a light mode. Okay, So this will allow you to test the look and feel of the email in these particular email agents. And they're broken down. They're nicely categorized by cell phone, Mac, Microsoft, and web-based. So this is a new feature already rolled out on your account. Everybody here should have some credits for doing inbox testing. And we do inbox testing supported by Litmus, which is our partner for doing this, which is the standard, and you probably have used them in the past. But right now, you can test emails in light mode and dark mode, or both. All right. That's the second feature release, which I was really excited about. Small, but it makes a lot of difference.
It's mainly one of the 2023 email marketing trends.
Yeah, you gotta be on top of how your email look across the board, especially if you're designing large newsletters, uploading photos and graphics and stuff like that.
Exactly.
The third feature, my personal favorite, and you might have already used it in email, it's called Predictive Sending. So when you're composing an email, you can choose obviously the date and time to send out an email, or you can tell VBOUT, you figure it out for me. I want you to study all my contacts, who I'm targeting, and identify from patterns, industry, and your machine learning, the best date and time, day and time, to send out that email. So you can say, start the campaign on Monday, and we can take an entire week to execute it because different people open emails at different times. So that has shown amazing results on the campaign side of VBOUT. So what we did, we extended it to our automations. And the way you can use it inside the automation, because this one is just a one-time newsletter off campaign, whereas on automation is just scheduled. I think most of you at this point know what the automation is versus the newsletter campaign you did. But here, let's say I have this very simple workflow that says if somebody joins or fills out a form, I'm gonna wait a day or a few minutes or an hour, and I'm gonna send them an email. So the way this will work is you double click on the email and you activate the predictive, okay? So what that means is, let's say I have the delay being done in 2 days. So the system is going to wait 2 days, and after 2 days is going to start the predictive sending. So that means 2 days plus the machine learning pattern, okay? Just make sure the delay is there first. Of course, if we specify advanced timing, then let's say 8 a.m., that will not be taken into consideration because Johnny might be opening emails at 9 p.m. and Lillian might be opening the email at 12:30. So with that being said, activate predictive sending here, and that should be sufficient for us to allow our machine learning to do the job for you, okay? And it's all about sending the right email at the right time where they are more likely to open. So predictive sending on email is now live inside the automation. I also have it on SMS, very new feature, same exact way, same exact behavior. Just activate it and let us decide the best time to send out that campaign. All right. Now, mind you, we send millions and millions of emails. We have a lot of data to work with. Something on the SMS side of things, because it's not for everybody, we have a smaller data set. So the machine learning pattern needs millions of records to build proper models. Currently, we meshed the two behaviors of the SMS clicks, because you cannot determine when this SMS was opened. There's no technology for that. But we identify the time of the click. So if you sent the SMS with a link, people click it, those times are being logged. And we take also the email of that same person and the time they're most likely to open. And we sort of have a fallback or a waterfall, which data we have most on. Not enough SMS data, we fall back a little bit on the email predictive patterns, okay? Really powerful feature, you guys. I literally have seen open rates jump double, and in some cases triple, and it's a simple one button click. Now, just like everything else, predictive sending require you to have sent probably 8 to 10 campaigns. Before sending 8 to 10 campaigns, we don't have enough data on your contacts unless they exist in our entire ecosystem. If they are uploaded for the first time, most likely we need a few email sends for us to build the proper pattern for them. So you can expect in the beginning, things to be more on time, but eventually that system will evolve around your own data. Okay. I'll take a quick pause here. Who of you on the call, and we have about 30 right now, how many of you do not have predictive sending active on their account? Please let us know. As a bonus for you joining live, and that means a lot to me, that means you invested the time and you committed and you're here with us. I'm happy to open predictive sending, which is an add-on on a monthly basis at no additional cost to you. I'll open it on your account for a lifetime. You don't need to pay monthly for it. So if you are new and you don't see that feature on your account, it might show something like it's not active. Drop in your email associated with your VBOUT account to George, and he will activate that add-on for you. All right. If you are watching this later, I'm sorry. This is really strictly for being live, and it means a lot to us. You can attend the next meeting or next event in the case we are still, talking about this. So that was the third feature, if I'm not mistaken. Any questions so far on this? Anybody has input?
Yes, Richard, we have great questions actually from Dave. First, hi Dave. Dave is asking first, does predictive sending consider only time of day or also day of week? Which should be both.
Time and day, day and hour.
Exactly.
And the machine usually, so we don't run the machine learning every day. We run it once a month. That's just because we need enough new data. Otherwise, machine learning is just going to be pretty much the same. So we allow about a month and we run a new model or the same model updated with enhancements on the data set accumulated throughout the month. Okay.
Okay. Also, does learning only start when you configure predictive sending, or is the tool learning all the time and then using that data once you enable predictive sending?
That's a good question. I believe if we already have the data in the system, that should be already have learned, even if you don't have the feature active. I might have a small doubt on this. I'll have to check with my team, but I'll take a note on that. Thank you, Dave, for pointing it out. But my 98% answer is that it's already running all the time because that data is beneficial across the board.
Great. Yeah, Richard, that's it for now. I think if guys you have any questions, you can drop them and I will address them to Richard. For Facebook, all good for now.
Thank you. I'm wondering who of you guys here, I know we have about 30 right now, is 35, is using predictive sending. Has it done any benefits to you yet? Have you seen any results, uptick in open rates, click-through rates? I'm really curious to know. Our case studies, which we ran with about a dozen accounts, have shown dramatic increase. And overall, we've also seen, on average, about 70-something% on the entire data set, not each account. So that was really exciting. Cool. All right. So what we also have done is we released our Shopify app. So we are now public. That has taken quite some time because Shopify, they changed the way their app store works, and now all billing. If you are a new customer coming from there, and that's not the case with most of you, they will bill you and then they will have to pay us back. And it became like a nightmare because they're trying to make money from the traffic they get to the app store. But right now we are live there, which is great. You can find us hyperlinked from our marketplace. Same thing with HubSpot. It was finally released into their marketplace. You can install us directly from here. It's been thoroughly vetted, and it's anybody who's using HubSpot CRM, they will benefit from this integration. Primarily sending data between VBOUT to HubSpot CRM and HubSpot CRM back to VBOUT. Okay. And another release we have is the ability for you to do bulk action with, this is more of a utility thing, adding things to folders. Before, we didn't have this add to folder. You had to do it individually, add to folder like this. And I don't know if you guys have used it, but any table inside VBOUT, data table, you can create a folder, and inside the folder, put a whole bunch of, automations, landing pages, and so on. And you can manage folders from here. Most of the data tables will have this utility, manage folders. You can create them, rename them, and so on. So right now, what we allow you to do is multi-select, and we added this small enhancement, which has been requested a lot, to a folder. Okay. So that's more of a utility thing. And I believe this is one more release that's relevant to agencies doing API calls. We added the ability for you to provision sub-accounts over the shared IP pool, the email pool. So if you have an email pool of 100,000 emails and you are creating accounts through your own kind of system that you created. And I'll give you an example. We're working with a client who is selling a course, and part of the course is they want to provision a sub-account on VBOUT, which is a VBOUT license, and allocate 10,000 emails, which on their end, they're charging for, right? So they created this form with a payment that ultimately zaps to VBOUT this endpoint that creates an account. And then it allocates the emails, as you can see right here, which is, all right, somewhere here, shared. And what is the number of email allocated? All right. This is a little bit of coding involved, very minimal. Any junior developer can do this, but you can literally provision accounts right now over your shared pool using our API. All right. So let me just make sure I cover all of them. Import notification, that's the first release. Dark mode preview is the second. Predictive and automation, email and SMS. Shopify and HubSpot marketplace. Bulk folder action, and our shared API, shared pool API. So I have a question from KC. Love the new feature. Notice the landing pages have a number associated to it, which means you can't use to build the website for our clients. Would there be a way to remove the number? For example, landing page is typically, got it. So, okay, see what you can do. You can set up one page to be the home page, and hopefully this will serve your purpose. Okay, I will just show you that real quick. So if I am to go to my landing pages, like this one, for instance, I know it has an associated number that cannot be removed, unfortunately. But let's say I want to make this page my home page. All I have to do is just go into edit. And on the top, you're going to see page domain. You have to click main domain right here. Okay, by doing that, you can use just the default URL without the trailing slash. But again, you can do it only on one page and obviously hyperlink to other pages. All right. So that's the only workaround that I can share right now. Let me know if that answers your question, Casey. All right, so Joran is saying I had a client. Can I personalize the subject line with a name? Yes, absolutely. You can do that. That's Digital Divanshu. Not only that, you can actually personalize landing pages. Now that I'm here, I can go ahead and just drop someone's name in here. I can divide it by 2. And on the top, you can always look this up in the help section. So there's a short code cheat sheet for those of you who don't know, short code cheat. So here, it allows you to kind of make things uppercase, lowercase, proper, fallback. It's a very small library, but it's a very, very solid. And the way we can determine emails and landing pages is they click through the names and landing pages if they click through an email. So the person will be cookied, and this will display their name on the landing page. But if I am to show it to you inside the campaign, let me see if I can right here. You can click here, choose the list. Most of them might be sharing same field, merge tags or shortcodes, we call them. And you can do something like this. So proper first name, and you can have a fallback in case the first name was empty. So you can say friend, and then close that. It's a very simple library. You can also do it on the pre-header. Some of you might not know this, but you can even do it on the from name and the from email and the reply to. So where would you use this? If you have a sales team and you have contacts associated with a specific salesperson, a sales rep, you can send a campaign and put the sales rep merge tag in. Obviously, you need to have that imported into VBOUT as a first name, last name, sales rep email, and you will drop in the sales rep email on that person. So yes, you can personalize all the way across the board in VBOUT. Absolutely. All right.
Yes, Richard, KC said he got your question. Your answer about the landing page having the number, but he's concerned being out for SEO purposes for the client.
Got it. I mean, for now, that's the way it's set up. I don't know how much of an impact it's going to have on SEO from a general perspective if you hyperlinked it from a homepage. I think SEO is way more than just looking at URL structures. I'm not an SEO expert by any means, but my understanding is it comes down to how many link backs we have, the structure of the page itself, obviously the link and the slab you have there, the title, the SEO. It's a lot of factors, not just that trailing number. But I don't want to give you an expert answer here. I just want to tell you that for now, unfortunately, that number needs to stay because it identifies the page as a unique page. Maybe it's something we can consider changing in the future. Okay. So Blaine is asking, I can take it here, George. Is VBOUT set up? We can use our Stripe account for sub accounts. We have an active sprint, which allows you as an agency to set up your own Stripe for selling sub accounts. So be on the lookout for that. I'm trying to push it this quarter if I can, Blaine. So that will solve your, that would answer your question. All right, so KC, notice that assets copied from an agency to sub accounts are not attached properly. Like an email sequence, the message are not attached to the next step. Yeah, this is not a bug. It's just the first release of copying assets over, because everything in VBOUT is about IDs. So that means an email has an ID, the automation has an ID. And even if I'm inside the automation, like here, the email that I choose, as I mentioned, has an ID. So when you copy things from one account to another, the new account does not identify the IDs of the copied asset because it belongs to a different account. So that's the technical answer. In version 1, it's not copying the right ID yet. It's just showing empty, I believe. But in the future, we have talked about being able to just kind of get the emails that it's attached, copy it, and then attach the ID. So that's an enhancement. Okay. And thank you for pointing this out. All right, so Digital Entry is asking, can we define life cycle stages and deals for sales purposes? Yeah, sure. I mean, if you're talking about the pipeline manager, you control the stages. If you talk about lead scoring, you can set up the different lead score labels as well. I highly encourage you to check the lead scoring lessons and videos that I've created. And you can literally control pretty much most of the data on the system. All right. Cool. George, am I doing good? I don't see Facebook, so please let me know if those were answered.
Yes, Richard. Everything is good for Facebook, and I would like to thank you guys for joining us on Facebook. And they are reaching out to me to ask for the predictive sending thing, but no questions.
Cool. All right. Let's talk about some resources. One, we do have a roadmap. George is going to be dropping the link here and in our group. You can participate in a roadmap. We have a lot of things planned and suggested. Some of things deviate based on importance. This is probably about 30% of what we have planned. A lot of the stuff might be influenced by the performance, sponsored features. Sometimes we have clients or a group of clients that might request a feature to be pushed up, and they actually sponsor that feature. So I mean, some of the things might be influenced, but you have access to the roadmap. You can add your ideas, and they will all be listened. I review those on a monthly or quarterly basis, and we'll be doing these calls anyway, so you see what's being launched. Now we do have our daily training. This is going to be updated soon. These are evergreen webinars. You can attend them if you're new to VBOUT and you want to learn. Hour and 40 minutes, how to use the system end to end. Of course, we do have our academy. These codes will be obsolete by the end of the month, so use them. You won't have to pay for any of our courses ever. So anytime we release new courses, most likely you will have full access to them. We do have a price tag right now there. That's why the codes you are looking at, you can insert them on the checkout. Okay, no need to pay for the courses as long as you are part of the VBOUT ecosystem. We launched our affiliate program page. We did have it before, but now it's a little bit more organized. So if you are reselling the product through your material, videos, tutorials, you can grab your link, put it in there, and we can track the sales, and you'll get commission on the sale. You can earn up to 30% over time. We do run monthly events. For those of you who, I mean, few of you I already know that you attended before. Our next one is going to be how you can boost email delivery using sunset policies. Sunset policy is one of those conversations that most companies dread having because they need to retire old leads that are not engaging. So we're going to come up with some strategies and have a roundtable discussion about how you're using your sunset policy, how you can optimize it, do different ways to look at it, and so on. And that's going to be Wednesday, February 8th. George will drop in a link so you can sign up. And this always launched, mentioned on our group. So if you're not part of our group, please join us, okay? So George, can you put in the link to our group just in case someone here is not part of it, okay?
Yes, of course, and I will be dropping the link of the event as well.
Okay. And you can see here, we have digital marketing trends for 2023. This was a very solid event, actually. We got a lot of tools built into VBOUT that are free. You don't have to be logged into VBOUT to use. It's publicly accessed. Things like can-spam compliance charts, persona creator. This one is really popular. A lot of people use the persona creator template, and then they can download the template. Spam word checker, email automation templates, and subject line checker. So feel free to go to our tools page and explore these tools. You can use them for lead generation with some clients, an agency, or you can simply use them for yourself. We also have analyzed in the past a lot of marketing funnels. Maybe this could be of use to you if you're building an ad, landing page, follow-up sequence. A lot of these vendors have put some decent funnels together, so you can get some inspiration and ideas on how these ads work. Cool. I have also a 2022 year in review, which summarizes pretty much all of our last year's updates on VBOUT, broken down by features, integrations, email, and others. Okay. Blog posts that you have full access to, and you can repurpose and use these in your own collaterals and materials. We give you full permission to do that. One is 7 ways to harness the power of marketing analytics to grow your business. George will drop in a link. How to use TikTok ads for business growth. And these are the only 2 articles here for this time. I'll take a quick pause before we talk about privacy updates. I have a couple of questions. So Jerwin asked, I would like to attend more. 5 p.m. is midnight. This time is perfect. Thank you, Jerwin. I mean, we kind of discussed moving our event a little earlier. We do have the recording that could be sent to you as well. So if you haven't signed up, sign up to the event anyways. And we will be sharing the recording, the presentation of that event the day after. But we will try and maybe experiment one event to move it to this time. Now, Casey is asking, are there any resources that show us best practices in using the outbound call dialing to book meetings? So Casey, obviously this is a very big topic. You talk about sales and outbound calling, which is tricky. And I don't have a direct resource here. Actually, I take this back. In our academy, which we have one course for agencies that might be sharing with you some calling scripts. Now, I don't know necessarily if the calling script is going to be the best fit for you or not, but let me see what else I can find. By the way, guys, if you are an agency and you go to your partner portal, you have what we call the resources center. It's right here. And what we do is we always upload content, like the presentation for today. We have a little bit older presentations as well. I might have some resources here, maybe not. I don't have anything on sales specifically. And in our academy, let me just take a look here real quick as well. And sorry, I didn't memorize the entire curriculum. The first course, definitely worth it on lead generation. I might have one chapter here on sales scripting and consultative selling. It's a very short 13 minutes. Okay, you can go through it and it might have some script attached as well. This course is available to you, so you can take it. But other than that, there are dozens of resources online to help you kind of learn how to call and do that stuff. And VBOUT, by the way, if you connected your Twilio to VBOUT, you can go to your add-ons, look for the dialer, or maybe Twilio, call tracking, install it and set it up. It's probably about 5 to 10 minutes setup. That's all it takes. And now what you can do when you're inside a specific contact record, you can literally dial out to that contact directly from VBOUT and log the call recording inside VBOUT as well. It's a small feature that some of you might not have, but you can do outbound calling through VBOUT by using Twilio, okay? I'm trying to see if I can show it to you real quick. I think we're doing good on time here, guys. All right, sorry, my screen is just freezes when I share. Anyways, while my screen is loading, Casey, did I answer your questions? So Mike is asking, how about inbound calling? Inbound calling doesn't get redirected yet, although you can do some tricks in Twilio, and I think we have a documentation on it. You can do a trick where you can forward the inbound calling to the number you dial out from to your own number or something like that. But that's something maybe we can consider in the future, okay? Dave is saying that you're an agency and you don't have the partner tab. Maybe George, I don't know if he can take Dave's information and just make sure the license is an agency license and he has access to his material. Sometimes Dave is just a matter of a login. You might not be using your main account login.
Sure.
All right, guys. So if you are inside an account, what you can do here is just, you can send the SMS, you can do a call, select the number. I don't have anything connected yet, but you can easily do that. And then you can start the call process. It will be logged in here and you can listen to the recording directly, right? All right, so Blaine is asking, how can I copy the above links or you'll email them to us? George, you'll email all these resources, right?
Yes, of course.
Okay, awesome. There you go, Blaine. All right, so guys, in terms of privacy, we have just, I think, one or two quick updates. One, if you're new and you're digital agencies and you are trying to button up your data protection agreement, use our templates. Okay, there are a few examples there for you, or actually one example you can download and just see how what we put together, and you can recycle whatever you can, right? Similarly with our privacy policy, because the data protection agreement just states how we handle data and how you should be doing it as a controller. We are a processor, so it could be helpful when you're signing new contracts. All right, so the latest update here was the recent CCPA, which I believe now is called, what is it called again, George? The new update?
Yes, it's called California Customer Rights Act. Before it was California Customer Privacy Act. Now it's CCRA, or actually CPRA instead of CCPA. It's actually, guys, the same rules or the same law, but it has some updates that will become enforceable as of July 1st, 2023. It's just allowing people not only to request to access that information, but accessing, editing, or deleting the information themselves.
Okay. And also they increase, I think, the limit of, if you have 50,000 clients in California, it needs to be 100,000 now, George. Did I get this right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's 100.
Okay. So very small changes. I think this initiative is just trying to create a new framework by which the European Union and the United States will agree and will feel more comfortable working with each other, because before it was Privacy Shield. Privacy Shield became obsolete 2 years ago, and now they're trying to reestablish it. This is just this non-stop kind of thing that's going on. All right. This is it in terms of our updates and our content. Happy to take any additional questions if anyone has any. Thank you, Casey. Thank you, George.
Welcome.
Sure. James, I can give you audio, or do you want to type your question? Let me see, James. There we go. All right, James, I'm going to allow the mic on your side. You can go ahead and ask a question. James, you are muted, by the way. I don't know.
Still muted. You're still muted, James. You can unmute
If you're more
yourself.
comfortable dropping the questions in the chat, happy to answer. So, Joran, you should have chunk sending on the email. I don't know if you're talking about something else. Feature request for chunk sending. You should be seeing that feature on all your accounts. It's not an add-on or anything like that. All right, maybe James couldn't get the mic to work, but anybody else have any questions in the meantime? Oh, there you go. James, I think you're on.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I have a big, lot of people to put in. Now, how many can I put into the system?
We don't usually cap on number of contacts that you can store, because we understand it's not a numbers game anymore, it's quality.
Yep.
So we don't have really a limit. Now, if you're uploading a CSV, if it's a very big file, that's more, I don't know if it's 5 or 10 megabytes, you might need to just break it down into 2.
Yeah.
And that means it's a lot of records if you have more than 5 megabytes worth of Excel.
Yeah.
Make sure it's a CSV, not XLSX. That's the best format to import data, but no limit really for the time being.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, James. All right, we have Henry as well. I'll give you control. You can unmute your mic and.
Okay. Hey, Richard, can you hear me?
Yes, how's it going, Henry?
Doing well, thank you. Hey, on that California Privacy Act, elaborate on that more. Does it apply across the United States, or is it specifically for California? I'm not understanding that.
It's primarily if you're doing business in California, so you have client base in California, or you're you have a database of contacts who are in California. And it needs to be, I think, 100,000. It used to be 100. It used to be 50. That means if you only have about 5,000 clients in California, the CCPA might not apply a lot to you. Now, inherently speaking, Henry, most of the stuff we built in VBOUT already complies with these laws. But you, as a data controller, let's say one of your clients says, "I want my data removed from your system." You have to do it immediately, right? How much data you have on me? You have to get them that data. So it's not really difficult to do it through VBOUT. We built it in a way where, and let me just show you one example. Let's say if this gentleman requested to be removed, I can click on this drop down. I can export all the information I have on them, or I can delete that person from all the lists, or I can unsubscribe them from all the lists. So these three options you're looking at here are GDPR compliant. Okay. Also, of course, if you have a form on your website and you're collecting data from consumers in California, you need to have the privacy notice on the bottom. I think everybody has them everywhere now anyways.
Yeah.
And ideally communicate your cookie compliance on the bottom. For us, we just did it across the board. So it doesn't matter where you're coming to our site. We do display the cookie notice, right? So that's just something we decided to do across the board.
Okay, great. Thanks for the clarification.
Pleasure, Henry. Thanks for joining us.
Sure.
All right. Any more questions, gentlemen? Thank you, Luis, for sharing the link to the CCPA. Yeah, in case you want more information on it, I'll just repaste it here. Luis, that's awesome. I appreciate it. Let me just copy this. There we go. Thank you, PT, for your compliment, PT Ahmed. We'll have one more question. Okay, so with chunk sending, you can define settings, amount of emails per hours, etc. If you don't know your size of your list, you can screw up. I think if you're looking at the campaign from this perspective, and let me pull the screen. Okay. In my opinion, chunk sending, so let's say I decide to target these two lists. Usually you can see right here, the list that you're targeting identifies how many emails you have. So right off the bat right now, let's assume I have 180, 1,300 people, right? 1,300 people. So I can do back of a napkin calculation just by looking at this target. And then I can go back to my setup, activate chunk sending. And knowing that I have 1,300, I can just calculate in my head, all right, so I want to execute the campaign in 2 days. I only want to send it between 8 a.m., 9 a.m., let's say, and 3 p.m. So that's 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. So that's 7 cycles. It's not too difficult for me to kind of identify and say, I'm going to send 150 an hour. So that's 7 cycles the first day, right? Which means I'm going to send 1,000 plus. Next day, the remainder of the campaign will resume on at 9 o'clock and will execute in the next 3 hours. So does it require a little bit of, basic calculations? It does. I don't know if I'm answering your question. I just don't see where the screw up could happen in this case. Okay, so Chris is asking, yes, we will send the transcript. Don't worry, all that recording and content will be shared. So thank you, Chris. Awesome, cool.
Great.
George, anything else?
No, Richard, everything is good.
Okay, James, you had your hand on again, so I'm gonna unmute you in case you won't have the question.
Any
I'm
more
all set,
questions?
thank you. I'm all set, thank you.
Also,
I wanted the, I sent the, my address for the,
first. Okay. Thank you for doing that. So George will be working with the team on making sure the installation of the add-on is done on your account. Other than that, thanks everybody for joining us today. These are done monthly, the last Thursday of every month. Next month we'll have a lot more as well in terms of rollouts, content, releases and stuff like that. So hopefully you can join us. Anything that you need in terms of support, you can always access our team via support@vbout.com or the live chat. And hopefully we'll see you on an upcoming event talking about sunset policy. George has shared the link to that. So
Yes.
Happy New Year, everybody. Thank you again for joining. And we'll be sharing the links to all this stuff in the follow-up email. All right.
Thank you guys for joining.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, George, for your help.
You're welcome, Richard.
All right.